You are now tuned in to the Ambition Hour podcast on Worth the Wait Radio. You ready?
Dub, 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 T, motherfucking dub, ho.
Yo, and welcome to the Ambition Hour podcast. It's your girl, Addy 3000, and this is episode 94.
Can't stay off the weed.
What is goody, my beautiful people? How is everybody doing? How is everybody feeling? It is your girl, Addy 3000, and this is episode 94 of the Ambition Hour podcast. And welcome. I'm very grateful to be here. As always, I am extremely grateful to be here. It's 94 episodes. I found pictures from episode 4, episode 2, episode 1, and was just reminiscing and wow, we are here. We are here and in control. I'm really excited for today's episode. As always, make sure that you subscribe, hit the like button, share with a friend, tell a friend, listen with a friend or a family member, whoever. If this is your first time visiting us, make sure that you stay and join the Dub T Dub fam. And all you gotta do to join is hit the subscribe button, the little bell on the side, that way you get notified each and every single time we drop a new podcast, a new video. We're gonna be this week we are dropping First Place by Spitz. So shout out to Spitz and the video for First Place. Shout out to Ishi, Yans, and all the girls that were a part of the video. Make sure that you check out WTWTV. That way you can see that video that we are premiering this week. And yeah, and for all things WTW, all you have to do is just go to our website, which is WTWrecords.com. That way you can get your merchandise, your shirts, your sweaters, lighters, all that good stuff. And before we get into the good stuff, I wanted to go ahead and give a quick and wonderful shout out to our sponsors. Shout out to Annie and Co Candles. And you guys can check out her website at ANIYNCO.com, and you can use our promo code ANC19A to get 10% off of your order of these wonderful, beautiful candles with the scent vibes. Annie and Co will be providing the scent vibes every single episode. Yes, literally. And our other sponsor, which is His and Her Hair Studio down here in Miami. If you're in the Miami area, you can check them out. They're in Palmetto Bay, by the falls, by where the ale house is, by where the Checkers is. You know what area I'm talking about if you're from down here. You can also book an appointment at her on her website. You can go straight to her profile, and it's glamgodmiami.glossgenius.com. You can book whatever service it is that you would like to do with her, with Ashley, shout out to our girl, and Carlos. That way you get hooked up, and let them know that the Ambition Hour podcast sent you. Okay, that way they take care of you. Y'all see the love we got? We get love to share and hook y'all up with scent vibes and make sure that your hair right. Oh my God. God is so good. So we've been starting every episode as of lately with what we are grateful for. So what am I grateful for this week? This week, I am grateful for hip hop. Now, when I say hip hop, yes, I'm talking about the entire genre. I'm talking about the songs. I'm talking about the movement, the culture, everything. But when hip hop for me has been one of the biggest influences in my life. I can go back to 10, being a 9, being just a kid, even 6 years old, knowing that there was something that you weren't really supposed to hear, but you would still hear it because it was really good. And then eventually falling in love with your own favorite artists, and trying to learn the lyrics and even the rhyme scheme that the rappers were using, and how is it that they do that. But hip hop honestly is what brought me here. Is one of the main reasons why I'm in front of you guys is because I grew up watching a lot of hip hop shows, entertainment and interviewing artists and being in front of the camera and the top 10 and like cool shit like that. So I grew up watching that, and because I wanted to watch the hip hop videos that were coming out. And also, I was reading my yearbook, my high school yearbook, and a lot of people wrote in my yearbook like, "Oh, make sure that you stay in love with hip hop," or "You're the only person that I know that like no one loves hip hop more than you." Some people were saying that like, I can't wait until you become a hip hop VJ, like a radio VJ and all that stuff. So it was really really cool to like see that like people like really saw that for me in high school, and like for me to be doing it now and to be like deeply in love with hip hop even more now is just so beautiful. Like, so I'm just grateful for hip hop and all that it's provided for me. It's something that, my brother and I have connected with a lot. It's something that I connect with a lot with people just in general because it's such a beautiful genre of music. And it's just like, come on, it's fucking hip hop, man. My dad said I had to stop cussing so much on the damn show, but I'm sorry, player. It's gonna happen because it's for emphasis. It's not to it's not to make anybody feel bad. It's not for nothing like that. It's just for emphasis, player. You gotta feel me. Shout out to my dad and my mom. I know my dad watches the show, so what's up, player? Mom.
Probably be treating this like it's ESPN and shit.
Oh, to Bobby.
Yeah, you can curse.
Oh yeah, he'd be like, "Oh, you can't curse, you can't this," and like, come on, man. It's me, and plus, this is like who like the parental advisory was because of hip hop. Like, come on now. So yes, I'm very grateful for hip hop and the beauty that it is. I did want to talk about this book that I've been reading, which is God Save the Queens. And it is written by Kathy Iandol, and it's the essential history of women in hip hop. I'm like in the third chapter or something like that, and I've learned a lot about hip hop and the roots of hip hop and what women have brought to hip hop. And so I guess this is one of the main reasons too, as to why I'm grateful for hip hop, because I'm listening to this book and I was like just taking in this history that is hip hop and what women have done. And the very first hip hop party the one that they had in the Bronx. Okay, so the reason why this party started was because of the DJ's sister. The DJ's sister was the one who wanted to throw the party so she can get new clothes for school.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it was just kind of like it was like a thing that she started, and he was a DJ, so but she doesn't get that credit for that. Like, but it was a girl who was behind that party who was just trying to get like new clothes for school so she can stunt on them. And yeah, so, and there's some other stories that I've heard that women have like are behind it, or they were the ones who weren't afraid to like step up to whoever it was that they needed to step up to. So shout out to the queens who paved the way in hip hop. I appreciate y'all. Also, to all, I feel like I always shout out, but like shout out to the rappers and the singers, because Lord knows I be trying, and I swear one day I'm gonna get my music career like going, but as of right now, like I can just admire you guys from afar and just be in awe and like have conversations with you guys, because listen, yeah, it's not easy. So shout out to y'all for having the very creative brains that you guys have, and the willingness to be able to put words and lyrics, and beautiful words and lyrics, to a dope ass beat that we can all enjoy. So shout out to you. I have one present. Shout out to Have in the building. He's my audio visual for today.
Motherfucking dub, ho.
Yeah, that was a soundbite, not me, player. Just so you know. it was not me who did the cursing. So okay, so yes, this is another solo episode, you guys. You guys are getting 2 solo episodes back to back. I liked it so much last time that we had to do it one more time, and I'm really excited. The next episode is episode 95. Hopefully the boys are back. This is an invite, boys. You guys can come back now. It's getting a little lonely over here. I'm about to burn this damn place down with this damn lighter. Okay. So soul coaching. I am on day 12. I've been speaking about this book since I have started it. Reason being is because it is such an important book that I love to read, and it's an important book of my life. It's been a part of my life for 5 years, and I'm really excited because I'm seeing a lot of progress and how I think and how I express myself and how I am able to kind of navigate my brain and not control it, but take it to more, I guess, productive, areas, and not get stuck and ask for help if I need help, or say, hey, I'm overwhelmed, or, there's just certain things that I'm learning more and more and more just doing this soul coaching and kind of like this guide. And also the social media cleanse has been doing me very, very well. Not gonna lie, I don't like that I can't post, as much as I would like to, like for the podcast page, I feel. But at the same time, like I feel like I've been so in tune with who I am, and that's like what's really important to me. I was sharing with a friend of mine earlier the other day how like I had to decide like what's more important, engagement or myself, and I had to make the decision like I am way more important than some engagement on social media. And so that's just something that
We appreciate the engagement though on the page.
yeah, no. Oh no, yes. Of course. Like we appreciate the engagement, and we appreciate that. I meant like myself, like me personally engaging in, conversations, or like, going on people's pages and stuff like that. I apologize that I'm not engaging right now, but my mental health is a little more important, and that's that. I also shared some tips, and I wanted to share them with you guys. So some of the tips for less social media, one of them, I feel like I did this last year when I did my social media cleanse. So last year, if you go back to those episodes, which are like episode 40, like 40-ish, kind of around those areas, those are the ones where I think I was doing the social media cleanse. But this year, the tips that I have for you guys is, number one, turn off the post notifications on your phone. Example, like pretty much every time that you get a message, or you get like the notifications on your phone. And so what you would do is that you would turn the post notifications off for like Twitter and for Instagram, and that way every time that someone likes your picture, you get a DM or a comment, whatever it is that the social media site does, you are not getting it on your notification screen. That way you're not seeing that and going to the app, opening it every time that because if you post a bomb picture, which you are, you're getting a lot of likes and you're getting a lot of comments, and your shit is popping. So then you're going to be on your phone in the time frame that you have posted something. You're going to be on your phone at least 20 times checking it. And that's being very like, I'm being like very like, that's the minimum, I would say, because if you're posting a picture, let's say that you average 100 and something plus plus likes. And let's not say that every single time that someone is liking your picture, you're going on. I would hope, because then if not, you might have to join me on this break. And I'm telling you this because I used to be that person. So you go and you check you turn off the post notifications, and then you check, and then you're on social media, and then you're on social media for 20 minutes. And so let's say break it down 20 times, 20 minutes, and you're on social media longer than you're doing anything else that you could have done productively. Another one that I can say is taking off a complete day off of social media. When I was on social media before, even when I go back right now, Sundays are for me. There's no Instagram, there's no Twitter, there's nothing. There's no social media for me on Sundays. Sundays are for me. Sundays are for my mental health. Sundays are for me to enjoy, where no one knows what I am doing. And yeah, those two tips have helped me. Also, the most recent one that I've been doing, this was now that I'm on the social media cleanse, is having my phone on Do Not Disturb. Oh my God. This is one of my favorite things. Y'all don't know how long my battery lasts, because I am not constantly because when you have it on Do Not Disturb, it doesn't go off, it doesn't ring, it doesn't go to your watch. Another thing with the watch is that you get a notification and you're looking at the notification on your watch. And so there's so many things that can consume your brain, and then the next thing you know, you spent like 2 hours, like not all together, but just I mean, yeah, altogether, like you're not just on your phone for 2 hours, but within a span of like 4 or like 3 hours, you've been on your phone for two. What have you really done? You know what I mean? It's time to start like weaning off of, the social media and things like that. I know how you don't have that much of a problem with social media, huh?
Not too much.
Yeah,
But
I get jealous.
I've been kind of like low key on a break. I'm still on, but I just been not posting as much as I have been.
Have a saying that he's not posting as much as he has been, which is good. Yeah, I always think that that's good. Let these people wait a little bit for these posts. Keep a couple posts on ice. That that's funny because I'm the type of person to have like a picture in my mind ready for when I go back to the gram, and it's just like, what is really the point of the social media? Because if all I'm thinking about is that post I'm gonna have when I come back, so that's something that I'm working on. That I'm like, okay, like you don't have to have like I'm back type of posts or stuff like that. But it's funny because now that I've been going to the gym. Shout out to everybody who goes to the gym. Shout out to everybody who works out, who's been changing their ways and who's been going to the gym and staying dedicated and staying consistent. I know it's not easy, but you get it done and you're getting closer and closer to your goals. Remember, the holidays are coming. It is okay if you want to eat all the turkey and the mashed potatoes and the everything that you have at your family Thanksgiving and your dinner and all those things. Make sure that you're having balance. Man, I'm excited. Tuh. And some of y'all probably wonder why I love November. Like, hello, Thanksgiving. All that good food and family time and gratitude. And just like the season is changing and it's getting cooler. Oh, man. I don't even remember what I was talking about. I got so excited. Oh, so the tips of the social media. So, yeah. So, you want to go ahead and just find something that's going to work for you, that's going to help you in the times that you want to reach for your phone and possibly get on social media. Maybe grab a book or put a book on your phone or something. Do something. Like our phones, we pay so much for our phones, yes, but not just so we can be on social media. There's other things that you can do. All right, cool. So like maybe call somebody that you haven't talked to in a minute, or text somebody that you haven't talked to in a minute, or write a poem. I don't know, something. Write a poem and then submit it to us, and then we'll read it out loud for everybody here on the Ambition Hour podcast. And then you never know, you can blow up on a poem here on the Ambition Hour podcast. So I did talk about the God Save the Queen's book. It's a really good book. I definitely recommend it. I did want to recommend another book. Hold on. There was another book that I read that was recommended to me by Ashley. I went to high school with her, so shout out to her for recommending The Gifts of Imperfection by Brene Brown, and it was a really good book. I'm listening to other books. Still not done with them. So, but yeah, those are the God Save the Queens has been recently my favorite one, just because it's the one that's mainly about hip hop. So make sure that you guys check that out. That book came out like last month. So yeah, definitely check that one out. I did want to talk about some new music because there's some other things that I have for you guys, but I definitely want to get into music real quick so I can get that out of the way. There is this artist. His name is Rex Life Raj, and he is from the Bay Area. Shout out to him. And he has a project called Father Figure 3 somewhere out there. And his project is so fucking dope. He has features with J Prince, Kaylani, he has Boz, and he also has Russ featured on the project. And it's really good, guys. I'm really digging his vibe. I love how he talks about because he grew up going to church and being around that, and his mother was heavy into the church and singing. He actually has her singing a song in like a phone call in one of the songs. And so yeah, so he's just been my favorite vibe the past week. I think he dropped last week. That was a project that I listened to, the new project that I listened to last week. I know that some other ones came out as well, but I kind of don't want to be listening to what everyone on social, because I don't know what everyone's listening to on social media. So I'm listening to what I want to listen to, what's catching my attention, and voices that have caught my attention just from like listening to different artists. So he was definitely an artist that I wanted to share with you guys. I seriously have a problem and I need somebody to send help because I cannot stop playing this Summer Walker album for the life of me. I play it in my dreams. I play it while I'm sleeping. I play it when I wake up and I'm singing songs from this album. At work, I hear it. I'm blasting it on the way there. Like, Summer, you gave us such a good album. Like, how, where, when, why? Like, girl, that entire album, like, just I can't put it into words. This is such a good album. If you haven't heard it, it's called Over It by Summer Walker. I've talked about before how she beat like a record for having it like number 10 or something. I can't remember what it was, but she like beat a record, and like I mean she deserves it. The album is so good. I've heard that the replay value for like from other people that is really it's just replaying it, like it's literally like it stops and then you want to replay it again and you want to listen to it again, and then when you're not listening to it, at least for me, I'm hearing it in my head, so it just haunts me. This album is just so good. So shout out to Summer Walker. I heard that she canceled her concert, like her tour. um my condolences to her. Listen, I'm the first one to tell people just fuck it. I'm the first person to be like, is that what you want to do? All right. Is this going to make you feel better? All right, cool. So I can't be mad or anything about Summer canceling some dates off of her tour. I wasn't. This had nothing to do with it, but I couldn't go to her concert anyway because I was going to be out of the country for the time that she was going to be out here in Miami. So I am gonna be out of the country for the time that she comes, so I wasn't able to go to her concert. So I didn't care if it was canceled or not. But then I found out that it was canceled, and then I was just like, damn, that sucks. Like I just want her to be good. Listen, being in the spotlight is not easy ever. It's not like your mind and your everything. It's different. It's different when you're in the spotlight. It's different when people have so many different opinions about you that they feel that they have a lot to say about how and what you do with your life. And even just meeting a lot of people, like, come on, man. Even us, like people like us, like myself, like when I am around too many people, like it's just too much for me. Like I can't grasp those things sometimes. So Summer, girl, do what you gotta do for you, boo. Yeah, so that's an album that like yeah, I can't stop playing, and I was like I gotta talk to the people about it on the podcast because I need to know who else is going through this with me, and am I not alone with this, like this struggle, that like someone send help, like SOS. That reminds me of Rihanna and how we haven't gotten an album from her. Like it just reminded me about that. Okay. So I feel like I talked about the Wale album enough times for you guys to know that I'm obsessed with it. So this is not new that I'm going to be talking about it again. But I just wanted to share with you guys that my favorite song from the album, LOV, it's Love dot 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 Her Fault. And the song goes LOVE dot dot dot. And so I love that song. My favorite song off of the album. It's a song that has touched me in a way that I haven't had, like a song hasn't literally. I explained this the other day to Chloe. Shout out to Chloe. Chloe Money. Hey, that's my girl. And I was talking to her about this song, and I told her how this song basically like it just after hearing it, my mindset just changed, and the way that I was maneuvering and communicating and feeling and everything like just shifted after this song. And it's because I felt like this song was like a mirror looking back at me and telling me like everything that was my fault. And I don't think he did that intentionally, but Wale is such a good artist and such a good poet that whatever it is that he is articulating, it resonates with you because it's real, it's raw, it's just authentic and it's him. And so when he says certain things, like I remember when I first heard the Gemini song, and it's a Gemini two sides. I am a Gemini, so I felt attacked, but at the same time, I understood what he was saying, and everything that he was saying was so correct and so raw and authentic, like I was saying about just the type of artist that he is. So I just once again need to recommend that song to you guys because it's him and Bryson. The lyrics are beautiful. Like, yeah, it's one of those songs for me. It's one of those songs for me. One of those songs that just touched me. It just moved me in a way that, it was just beautiful. So I can't get enough of it. So I wanted to share those three, I guess, things that I'm listening to right now. That way you guys, know what's up, know what I'm listening to, know what I'm vibing to. I've also been listening to a lot of Jay-Z. I really want to see him in concert because I saw the Fade to Black. Yeah, because it was out on Tidal. I talked about it last week and I didn't know that it was like the official release. I didn't know that. I just saw it on Tidal and I was just like, damn, I'm gonna watch this. And it was so cool to just see, like, Jay-Z really had us out here thinking that he was retiring. Like, he did the one of the biggest concerts. He had a whole bunch of people there. He had Beyonce perform. He had Ghostface come out. He had Missy Elliott was there. Just everybody, like Usher came out, if I'm not mistaken. Like, just a lot of different people just came out, and because he was going to retire and leave the game. And then I went to the concert like right after. I went to the tour. When he came back. Like, I went to that tour. So it's just so funny. Like, he really had us believing that he was gonna be, we were never gonna hear from him again and all this shit. He really got that off. I mean, I'm not even mad at it because we got the Black album. But yeah, so he's just an artist that I've been listening to a lot. Of course, Rick Ross, Future and Rick Ross, those two, they just they just they take my workouts to the next level. Like, as soon as TikTok comes on, like, I don't know how to act. Like, I'm in a whole nother universe as soon as TikTok comes on. And then let BMF come on, and it's just like I'm just like doing shit that like is unheard of at the gym. So yeah, I should come out with the gym playlist. That way y'all can see what I be what I be vibing to when I'm pumping iron and getting these results. And getting these results. All right. So now here comes the serious part. When dun, 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 dun. Hey, that song goes hard. Okay, so I was having a conversation earlier. It was funny because I was talking to my sister. Shout out to Steph. Love you, girl. I know you listen and I know you watch. And she said that last episode was one of her favorite episodes. So shout out to episode 93 for getting the cosign from the sister. Hey. Yeah, a cosign from one of your best friends is like the best thing, I feel. Like, when a cosign period is fun, is awesome, but when it's like from one of your best friends, the one that be talking shit about you sometimes to your face, yeah, that's when it, like, it's just like, oh shit, I guess I'm popping, whatever. So I was having a conversation with her earlier, and I had to tell her, I'm like, okay, so this is letting you know that anything that was said in this conversation may be used during the recording of the podcast. So I am now starting to say disclaimers in the conversations that I have with my friends, because when they listen to the podcast, they need to know that I may be talking about a conversation that we had. So this is a conversation I had with another friend who never heard the disclaimer, which now is a disclaimer. The conversation that we had earlier will be talked about on the podcast. Okay, so I was talking to my friend, one of my best friends, Mighty Sunshine. Shout out to my best friend, Mighty Sunshine. She's getting married next month. Woo! Can we get a clap for her? Yay! I'm a bridesmaid, so I'm excited. It's gonna be lit. That's where I'm going, out of the country. I'm going on a cruise, guys. I was trying to be secretive and trying not to let the people know. But yeah, I'm going to be out on a cruise, chilling, fucking tanning with this waist snatched. Okay, I'm getting a little ahead of myself because I'm really excited. And it's cool because I've never been on a cruise and I'm going to be gone for 7 days. So yeah, it's gonna be on and popping. So I was having a conversation with Mighty Sunshine, and basically she asked, okay, so some along the lines of lying to yourself, right? And I took that, and normally when someone says something to me that like just I grab it and I'm like, I can use this on the podcast. Why? Because we lie to ourselves a lot. Like, we lie to ourselves when we don't feel good. We're like, no, but I feel great. Like, you know, like I feel great, or
Fantastic.
yeah, I feel fantastic. Like, no, 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 no. Like, and then there's some other things that that's very surface. That's not like as deep as like I guess like I would like to go. But there's just like certain things that we lie to ourselves about. And I feel like it's time that we stop lying to ourselves and just accept what it is and for what it's for. Because once you accept those things and not lie to yourself, then you can move forward. Then you can move on and just live healthier. Because if you're constantly lying to yourself, then you have to kind of keep up with those lies with yourself. Because then you're just contradicting yourself. You know what I mean? Like when I said earlier, the whole thing about like you lied to yourself about, feeling good or whatnot. Like I said, that's very surface. But if we dig deeper and we think about like, okay, so am I happy with how my life is going? Oh yeah, no, my life is going perfect. I love everything about my life right now and this and that. And it can be true, but I'm pretty sure there's certain things that you would like to change about it, and you're not being honest with yourself, and you're not looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself that. Or sometimes even in a relationship you ask yourself like, oh man, like am I really happy in this relationship, or is that how I should be getting treated? Just things like that. And you like lie to yourself because you think it's going to get better. And so you have to stop lying to yourself, and you also have to learn to communicate. One of my downfalls has always been that I lied to myself and act like, no, no, no. Like, because there's times where people have told me, like, hey, the grass is green. And then I'm like, no, but the grass is not green. The grass is the color that I believe. And okay, let's bring it back, Claudia. The grass is green. And okay, so people can say that. Like people can say like, the grass is green, the grass is green, the grass is going to hurt you, the grass is going to hurt you. And then you're like, no, 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 the grass is fine. The grass is purple actually, and it's okay. And then but you know that the grass is green, but because you want to like go against what it is that they're saying, because you're lying to yourself, and because you feel like, oh no, but I do know what's best, and I do know what's this, and I do know what's that, you just start to believe the lies that you start telling yourself. And I'm using those examples because I don't want to pinpoint anything, and those are the best ways that I can describe these things to you guys, because I need you guys to really understand what lying to yourself can do to you. It can mess up your mental health. It can take your situations that you're in and drag them along a lot longer because you're lying to yourself. So you just have to like sit down, be honest with yourself. Everything that it is that you are unsure about, ask yourself. Like, you guys can ask yourself questions, like literally ask yourself questions. And one of the main questions that I always see that helps is, what am I grateful for? Okay, what am I grateful for? And then you start listing all of those things. Once you become honest about the things that you're grateful for, it's easier for you to list or even have the conversation with yourself about other things that you're lying to yourself about. Because sometimes actually all the time that you are lying to yourself, you're just wasting time, and we don't have time to waste. Like, come on, like I already like talked about how we can waste 2 hours on our phones just by checking like a couple of notifications every now and again. Like imagine like the time that you spend like lying. Another thing, not just lying, but okay, so you have a moment in your head, right? And you know how we have memories, and we love memories, and there's times where like in our memory we go back in our memory bank, and we go back and we start thinking about that memory, and then we start thinking of how it could have gone differently, and how it could have gone better, and how it could have, a cuter little part could have happened. And then it's like, no, that moment is gone. You cannot go back to that moment and live that moment again. That moment has already passed. So just like how we lie to ourselves, we also do that. We go back into the memory bank, and maybe a discussion and an argument, even an accident. Like there's so many things that we go back in our minds, and we're like, oh man, like let me try to rewrite this. And it's like, no, it's already written, it's already printed, it's already out. It's already out there, and we can't go back and change that at all. There's times where like when I have seen my crush, and in my head I replay those times when I've seen my crush, and I'm like, damn it, I wish I could have said this and this, and like just go and say all of those things. And it's just like, no, those moments already passed. I can't go back and I can't change them. He's either going to appreciate them for what they are now, and that's it. And that's something that you have to tell yourself. You have to constantly like be like, no, that already happened. And move into the future. And then that's another thing, we start making stuff up for the future because we start making scenarios up for the future, and they haven't even happened. So that's another thing, like it just keeps piling up. So it comes the lying, then you start making up stories, and then you start inventing the future. And it's just like, it doesn't work that way. You have to let everything be. Everything that is already happened. The stuff that is happening right now has to just be, and the stuff that's going to be in the future, you literally have no control over that. The only thing that you have control over is how you react to it. And how you react to it is by not lying to yourself. Everything that is going on, just embrace it. Just be in it. And ask yourself consistently, like, how do I feel? What is going on? Am I happy? Am I really like entertaining this person because they're a good person, or only because they can give me something in the future? Like, it doesn't work that way. Like, we really have to be mindful of who we are surrounding ourselves with, and be mindful that we're not lying to ourselves. So I ended up asking like other people, like, do you think that we lie to ourselves? Of course, yes. Have you believe that we lie to ourselves?
Yep, we're the best at it.
We're the best at it. We lie to ourselves. Like, there's times where I'm like, I don't need to go to the gym. And it's just like, no, you need to go to the gym, because this is something that you are working for. This is, what you want. Like, you know the results that you want, and you know what you need to do to get them. So, this whole little story that you made up in your head about not having to go to the gym is invalid, because you're just lying to yourself. Like, you don't have to go. So I say all of that to say, don't lie to yourself. Be real with yourself. Just be real. Keep it 100 with yourself. Because as soon as you keep it 100 with yourself, it's going to be so much easier to do the same with other people. Now, I say this because I've already done it. You know what I mean? Like, I had this conversation with myself. I wrote it in my journal. I expressed it. And all of these things is just, it's something that I've been practicing already, because I want to get better at that. I'm tired of lying to myself. I'm tired of making up stories and scenarios and going back and wishing and hoping and dreaming and this. Like, no. Like, I gotta secure this bag. Like, I need to make sure that Worth the Wait is like on top. I need to make sure that the ambition of our podcast is, going to be televised worldwide. Like, that's what I need to be focusing on, not on like other things, not on like lies or what could have been or what I could have said or once I finish this episode, I can never go back and change anything of what I said ever. Once we are done, that's it. Like, it's up, it's there, there's nothing that I can do. There's times after an episode where I go back and I think about what I said, and I'm just like, oh my God, girl, you didn't even make sense, and this and that. And I'm so critical about myself. But then people who listen, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all, because a lot of you guys, just when I tell you that I have or feel like I've had a bad episode, you always say that I have a great one. So I appreciate that. But yeah, so it's just like, just different things that you just have to like just look at, pay attention, and refocus, reprogram, and do all that good stuff. And this reminded me of like me thinking of the whole lying and how you make up scenarios in your head and wish that you can go back and kind of like relive that and then in your head change it or whatnot, is that you can never go back to the first moment that you heard an album.
That's a fact.
Like you can never go back to that moment. Like I was listening to the Summer Walker album as I have for like the 50th 100th time, and I was thinking about the first time that I heard the album, and I remember hearing one of my favorite songs, which is the one with Usher called Come Through. I remember hearing that song and being like, holy shit, what did these two fools just do? And like, I can never go back to that moment of when I first heard it and how I felt. And so that's why it's so important to live in the moment, every moment, because you can never go back to those moments. You can never go back. I can never go back and re listen to the Summer Walker album and change my favorite song. There's no way I can do that. Just like how it is with any other album that you have listened to or whatnot. Like, there's albums that I heard when I was, perfect example. I was listening to Mariah Carey's, I think Heartbreaker album or Rainbow.
Rainbow's the one that you had.
Rainbow's the one I had, right? Yeah, Rainbow, and that was the one with Heartbreaker that was featuring Jay-Z. Now, I remember when I first saw that video, but I can never go back to that moment. Like, I can never go back and, like, be like, really take it in for what I see it now. So yeah, so the Rainbow album, I was listening to it and I was just like, wow, I remember when I was younger and listening to these songs, and I was 10 years old when that album came out and I had that album, and I remember hearing Jay-Z on Heartbreaker and literally like learning the lyrics, because the first time I heard it, it blew my fucking mind. I was like, what is, like, shout out to Mariah Carey because she introduced us and she featured a lot of rappers in her songs, and this is what made, hip hop more mainstream, that they were, hip hop artists were getting on songs with Mariah Carey, and Mariah Carey was mainstream as hell. Like, she went from like an R&B artist to a Mariah. Like, she's Mariah Carey. And yeah, so I was just remembering that and just reminiscing, and it's just like, dang, you can never go back to the first time that you heard these projects, and then now when you hear them, it's just like, man, that's so beautiful. Like, I feel that way about Trey songs as well. I remember being in high school listening to Trey songs, and can I say, as an R&B fan, Trey Songz was making some freaky ass music. Like, I don't know that many artists that are doing that right now, like as far as men, but yeah, Trey was giving the business, and he can get the business. That's neither here nor there. But yeah, so you can never go back to the time that you first heard something, or you can never go back to the first time that you meet somebody. That way, that's why you always have to be tip top shape every time, because you don't know who you're gonna meet, and you never know if you're gonna see them again. And so yeah, so you can just never go back to those moments. So just be real with yourself, man. Be cool. Don't lie to yourself. Just be you. I talked last week about being your authentic self. Be your authentic self. Let that authentic self shine. And people are either going to love it or they don't. But the most important person that needs to love it is you. So make sure that you are doing the necessary steps in order for you to, just be real with yourself, and just, one of the biggest advices that I can give is, in with being real with yourself, is kind of just examine the past month and see what it is that you have accomplished personally, as far as like weight loss. If you have a full-time job, are you working towards something else? Would you like to work towards something else? Have you been wanting to work on something else and haven't? Yeah, so that's where I would say that you can start, and then you just go from there. and then you just figure it out. And yeah. And if you need any help or anything like that, you can always ask us. Ding. I'll be more than happy to do a one-on-one for a fair low price of $39.99 every single month. Just kidding. I don't do that. I don't have time for that. Okay, let's look at the list. Okay, so yeah, so Can't Go Back. Here's something for the first time. I know that Dave East dropped an album. I haven't heard it. Um I'm a little wish-washy about Dave East. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I heard that the album was good, and I'm gonna give it a chance. But I also know that Tory Lanez has dropped an album. And some other people are dropping albums. So yeah. If
Chicks came out.
who?
Chicks came out.
It came out yesterday. It comes out tomorrow. We recorded this on Thursday, you guys. Where how much time do we have? Can we get a time, please?
Oh, we have 15 minutes.
15 more minutes. What can I talk to the people about for 15 minutes? Oh, okay. So I since I haven't been on social media, I really don't know what's going on, and I love it and I also hate it. And I was telling one of my friends that, and she was just like, why don't you just watch the news? The news is very depressing because I wanted to find out what was going on because one of the highways was closed down here, and so I ended up finding out that there was like a fatal car accident, and that was really sad. Ooh, I'm happy. Okay. So I'm not happy about car accidents. I'm happy that I remembered that and said that. Okay, so with as far as that, like that accident happened, and somebody passed away, and a lot of the times we are in our cars a lot. If you are listening to us in the whip right now, I appreciate you. Make sure you're paying attention to the roads. Fuck them people, but at the same time, make sure you know what you are doing. Make sure that you are aware of all of your surroundings, using your signals, being calm, not taking things personal when you're driving out there. And yeah, because these roads are really crazy. Like there's people here who some people have kids in the car that are distracting them. There's sometimes where like I see parents driving and like turning all the way back around like we're on the highway. Like you gotta relax, you gotta pull over or something like that. And then there's some people who are literally on their like they are not paying attention to the road, they are on their phones, and that's scary. And there's also people who they don't care, they'll cut you off, they'll do whatever it is that they need to do because they are getting to where they need to get to. And there's just you guys cannot believe, I mean, you guys, I'm sure you guys see it, but there's just so many different drivers out there, and there's a lot of cars out there. And I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of us have to drive in traffic as well, and you guys see it every single day. So man, just be careful. If you can, stay off your phone as much as you can when you're driving. Try to be aware. I've noticed that whenever I am aware, I'm not, because when you're on your phone or when you're distracted or when you're doing something in your car or something like that, and then the car in front of you brakes really fast or somebody cuts you off really quickly, if you're not paying attention, there is a really high chance of you getting into an accident. So you need to be paying attention so you can do the necessary steps for you to not get into the accident. Now, if it's your time, it's your time. That's inevitable. But there are certain the things that you can prevent in order for you to do that. Like today, I was driving and literally I saw that the car in front of me was like braking crazy in a lane that you don't have to, like, it's usually like it's like a free, it's like usually like you can just keep going. And then once like I brake as hard as I can, and then I get out of that lane and I go to get off of my exit, and there was 4 cars in an accident in front. Like it was like 2 cars away from the car that I almost like that I saw that was like braking like crazy, and I stopped. And so yeah, so I could have been in that accident. And it's just like it's in an instant that it can happen. So you have to be careful, you have to be paying attention, you have to be mindful of everything that is going on. Like we have to remember that yes, we are in charge, we are driving, we are this, but this is a really big, piece of machinery that, can take your life. So be mindful of that and be careful, and don't drink and drive, don't do all of those things. I'm not trying to be your mother, you guys, but there's just certain things that I'm observing a lot lately that I need to make sure that you guys know. Because I know that some of you guys are driving out there, and there's some people that get you pissed the fuck off. I should make it so that, like, at this time you guys just put the volume up in your cars, and then I'm just like, fuck all of you guys. I guess I just did it. Sorry, player. Love you though. Okay. So let me say, do you have anything that you would like for me to share with the people, Hav?
Nothing that comes to mind right now.
Nothing. Okay.
I mean, if you want to talk about Disney Plus, I guess.
Oh yeah, well, Disney Plus came out, and it's the rave, I've heard. It has like a whole bunch of different shows and movies and stuff, and so they basically took everything that was Disney on Netflix and they took it to Disney Plus. Shout out to that, because I mean Disney should deserves their own streaming service, I believe. I strongly believe. And I think that's pretty. I think there's times where I think about that, like the podcast should have its own like app. There's a lot of the times that I actually believe that the podcast should have its own app, because, especially being off of social media, you see like, okay, so the only way that I can really connect with my fans is by posting the podcast, and that's it. And then it's just like, no, but it would be cool for, you guys to go somewhere and just have like the audio for like available, the visual available, the description, and then there's like little chats or like a little group thing where you guys can like meet each other and like interact with each other. And yeah, because guys, okay, so I'm happy that I remembered this too. You see what happens when you got 15 minutes left and you gotta be like, what am I gonna talk about to these people? We are streamed in Paris, in India, London. There was some other countries that I can't remember right now, but shout out to everybody who listens to us worldwide. That is pretty fucking dope. Um, I'm just, so a California girl who lives in Miami, raised in Miami, and just wanted to, do a podcast for the people, and the people are listening all over the world. So thank you. I appreciate that. When I was looking at the analytics and where the numbers and stuff were coming from, I couldn't believe my eyes. Like, I was really happy. I'm really blessed. That just means that we're touching a lot of people from everywhere, and that's always good. Can I get a round of applause for our worldwide listeners? Yeah. I got this flyer for like a ladies' night type of thing, and yo, they be giving these graphic designing jobs to anybody. I didn't want to throw shade, but like, I saw the flyer, and I'm like, who is going to this event because of this flyer? Like, this is ridiculous. I just checked my phone to see, like, some things, some things. There's always something. And so yeah, so that flyer was kind of crazy. Um, I think this is a good time, have. I'm really excited. I talked about you. I talked about everything that I wanted to talk about with you guys. Especially since the whole like current events thing isn't something that is going to be happening this month, because I'm not gonna stay here and give you guys the current events every single time. Um, what's going on? Oh, Merp. But yeah, so I just wanted to like just change it up for you guys, especially since I'm not up on like what's going on social media. I do know that Drake was supposedly booed off of the stage for Tyler the Creator's festival or whatnot. I read the article. I didn't watch the video. I only read the article, so I believe that he wasn't booed off. I believe that people expected him to get off of the stage after a certain amount of time and then have another special guest come on like Frank Ocean, and that didn't happen. So honestly, as a Frank Ocean fan, I would have loved to have seen him and possibly would have booed as well because he wasn't coming. Not because of Drake, but because I would have figured out that, Frank Ocean wasn't coming to the party. And but yeah, so that's like really the only thing that I know. There's some other things that I know too. Like the whole like Joe Budden and Homegirl. like that the it probably is fake news. That's what I'm saying. Like even the shit online is fake news. Jesus Christ. But yeah, so there's nothing current events. What's current right now is what's going on with me, with the book, with what I want to share with you guys, what I feel is going to help you guys grow into, into better versions of yourself, which is always a goal of mine every single episode. Is yeah, I want to talk shit with y'all and I want to like joke around and talk about music with you guys. But at the same time, like I want y'all to come here and leave with something, and every single time it's going to be something different. And so today it was the not lying to yourself and remembering that you can't go back and change any moment, and to just live in the moment and love every moment, because we only have one life to live. Okay, so this is your girl Adi 3000. This is episode 94 of the Mission Hour podcast. And we are